There are two types of knowledge, two ways to know and understand things. One is intellectual, you can reason things out. And the other one is emotional, you feel things, you feel if they're true or not. And the more powerful of the two, the one that exposes what we truly believe, the one that governs our actions, is the emotional knowledge. And that is the difference. The difference between these two types of knowledge are the difference between a believer and a submitter, between a Muslim and a mutmin. A believer, a mutmin, they have no doubt, they know emotionally what is going to happen, and this gives them freedom. A Muslim, although they may be submitting to God, do not have that certainty yet, do not have that emotional knowledge yet, and therefore their ways of thinking can still be inadequate. To illustrate this example, I'm going to use the difference between life and death. All Muslims, as a matter of fact, all religious people, know that death is the end of suffering and the beginning of bliss for those who submit to God. Yet why do many people fear death? That's the ultimate question. And again, they fear it because they have intellectual knowledge, but not emotional knowledge. And emotional knowledge, that certainty, can only be gained through first gaining the intellectual knowledge and then applying it. That is the only way. But this is why people who otherwise believe in God are afraid of death. And that's most people. People aren't afraid of flying. They're not afraid of heights. They're not afraid of spiders or snakes. What they are afraid is the consequences of encountering those situations and those situations going wrong, meaning very serious injury or death, loss, often of their life. Most people are afraid of death. Even the religious one, which kind of generates that paradox between intellectual knowledge and emotional knowledge. What should Muslims really fear when we're talking about life and death? Or what should people really fear according to what God revealed when we talk about life and death? Well, in reality, they should feel immortality rather than death. Consider what God says in the Quran in the 43rd chapter, starting at verse 74. Surely the guilty will be in the punishment of hell. It will not be abated from them, and they shall therein be despairing. And we were not unjust to them, but they themselves were the unjust. And they shall call out, O Malik, O ruler of hell, talking to the angel that oversees hell, let your Lord make an end of us. And he will say, surely you will tarry, you will stay there. Certainly we have brought you the truth, but most of you are averse to the truth. So people who find themselves in hell, their one wish is to die. Therefore, immortality, when you find yourself in this situation, is far worse than death. Imagine an existence of pain that never ends. Death would be the most welcomed outcome. All people would desire what they truly fear now: death, an end. And this is that difference between emotional and intellectual knowledge. On an intellectual level, we should know that immortality in the setting of pain is literally the worst thing that can happen to anyone. Never-ending pain. Whereas we should also know that death is the beginning of good things. And yet a lot of people, I'm not going to say all, but a lot of people desire immortality. That is literally, they want to keep on living forever and fear death, which is exactly the opposite of what they should feel. Now again, people who claim to be Muslims, they can intellectualize this and say death is a good thing and immortality may be a bad thing, but do we truly feel that? When you gain the truth of emotion, when you know things to be true, and that is the kind of knowledge that governs you, then you are of the mutminin, you are of the believers. Until then, the best you can do is hope to earn it through submission to God, Islam, and the struggle to put into action what God wants from you, jihad. And inshallah, God willing, God gives you that certainty, which we call faith, which we call true belief. This is how people should understand religion. And this is how people should understand knowledge. Peace be with you.